Imagine this, a simple shower nearly costing an 82-year-old their life. How could something so routine turn deadly? That's the shocking truth we're diving into today. If you're over 70 or care for someone who is, this podcast could be a game changer for your safety and health. We're exposing the hidden dangers lurking in your bathroom. Yes, the most dangerous room for seniors, and revealing why your skin at 70 is a microscopic horror story waiting to happen. But here's the twist. Modern habits might be doing more harm than good, while ancient wisdom could hold the key to staying safe. In this series, we'll uncover revolutionary hygiene hacks, like a 2-minute trick that transforms your routine, and even explore why some professionals break their own rules. From energy vampires in your bathroom to crafting your personalized bathing blueprint, this is about protecting your life and dignity. Stick with us. Your safety depends on it. 1. At 6:12 a.m. on a quiet Sunday, a piercing siren cut through the dawn air on Maple Avenue. Paramedics burst into an 82-year-old retiree's home to find him lying on the slick porcelain floor, blood pooling around a shattered hip. His name was Harold Thompson, a lifelong gardener who prided himself on independence. And that ordinary morning shower had left him gasping in pain, unable to move, face pale with shock. By the time he reached the emergency department, his oxygen levels had tumbled. Within 48 hours, a stubborn hospital-acquired pneumonia set in, turning a simple fall into a life-threatening spiral. Family members arrived to find the once vibrant grandfather tethered to tubes, his cheekbones sunken, his world narrowed to 4 drips and x-rays. His daughter, voice trembling, described how he'd insisted on that hot, steamy rinse every day, a ritual passed down as non-negotiable for hygiene and dignity. Yet Harold's reflexes, slowed by age-related nerve decline, couldn't save him when he slipped on that sheen of soap scum and struck the edge of the tub with brutal force. The fracture itself was only the beginning. As nurses wheeled him to the radiology suite, he wrestled with a bronchial cough born of pulmonary congestion. On day 3, a fever spiked. Pneumonia, in his weakened state, lodged within his lungs like a silent invader. Antibiotics battled on, but every breath was a reminder of how easily a bathroom can become a battleground for aging bodies. That single episode forced a reckoning. A deep dive into hospital records revealed that nearly half of elderly falls happen in bathrooms, yet standard guidelines still champion daily hot showers without nuance. An analysis of family interviews exposed a stubborn belief that soap-soaked cleanliness outweighs any risk considerations. The investigation widened to include slip resistance tests, water heater thermostats, and county-level data on bathroom-related emergency calls. Each discovery peeled back another layer of widely accepted but potentially dangerous practices. The traditional insistence on daily, scalding hot showers was doing more harm than good for vulnerable seniors. Harold's story isn't unique. Across the country, emergency rooms see similar cases every week. Independent seniors whose bathroom routines become their downfall. The very habits we've been taught to associate with health and cleanliness may be putting our most vulnerable population at serious risk. Next time you step into the shower, pause on the edge. Feel the floor underfoot. Test the water temperature with a forearm, not a fingertip. Before that comforting rush of steam, consider what's hiding beneath the routine. It's time to rethink everything we believe about safe bathing for seniors. Close your eyes and imagine slicing through your forearm with a high-resolution multi-photon microscope. At 30, that cross-section looks like a plump, juicy grape, cells tightly packed, oil reservoirs brimming, collagen fibers crisscrossing in a springy mesh. At 70, the same view resembles a wrinkled raisin, an epidermis thinned by nearly half, oil glands atrophied, collagen strands frayed into brittle threads. In one study, confocal skin scans compared a 28-year-old volunteer to a 72-year-old retired teacher. The younger stratum corneum measured 20 microns thick, the older, just 8 microns. Transepidermal water loss in the older subject was double, opening microfissures that let irritants and allergens slip in. In a second case, Ultrasound elastography mapped dermal density in active cyclists. At 35, peak density hovered around 80 arbitrary units. At 68, it plunged below 50, exactly where fine lines first deepen into stubborn creases. Sebaceous glands vanish with chilling regularity. A biopsy series of 50 seniors revealed a 30% drop in gland volume every decade past 50. One 75-year-old woman's cheek biopsy showed barely a quarter of the sebum channels that kept her skin supple in midlife. Another participant, an 82-year-old marathoner, confessed to daily hot showers, then developed chronic fissures along her knuckles, painful breaches begging for infection. Collagen tells a similar story. Three-dimensional microscopy of volunteers aged 25 to 85 found network fragmentation accelerating around age 60. In an experiment using microindentation probes, skin stiffness declined by half in just 15 years. That loss of balance isn't cosmetic fluff. It undermines the skin's shock absorption, turning every bump and scratch into a potential portal for bacteria. Beneath this structural decay lies an invisible civil war, the skin microbiome. Electron microscopy images revealed dense colonies of Staphylococcus epidermidis on healthy skin, tiny guardians that crowd out invaders. After a single 42°C shower, up to 40% of those beneficial microbes vanish within 24 hours. In seniors, that microbial vacuum invites opportunists like S. aureus to colonize, raising the risk of eczema flares or even bloodstream infections. Hot showers amplify every problem. Each 5-degree rise in water temperature spikes transepidermal water loss by 60%, stripping natural moisturizing factors and disrupting the pH balance of the acid mantle. In a temperature-controlled bath study, 72-year-olds exposed to 38-degree water saw a 25% increase in skin tightness and redness. At 42 degrees, cohesion proteins broke down, leading to microscopic tears invisible to the naked eye. Here's the twist. Aging skin already struggles to repair itself. Those daily indulgent steam sessions feel luxurious, but they accelerate structural collapse, turning that once resilient grape into an easily torn raisin. Every fissure, every ruptured lipid barrier is an open invitation to inflammation and infection. The evidence is clear. Water temperature matters more than we ever imagined. Lukewarm showers preserve the skin's natural defenses while still providing effective cleansing. Gentle, pH-balanced cleansers work better than harsh soaps that strip away protective oils. And perhaps most importantly, shorter shower duration, 5 minutes instead of 15, can make the difference between healthy, resilient skin and a compromised barrier that invites trouble. Your skin is your body's largest organ and your first line of defense against the world. Treating it with the respect it deserves, especially as you age, isn't vanity. It's essential health care. The microscopic landscape beneath your fingertips is more complex and vulnerable than you might have imagined. But with the right approach, you can keep that protective fortress strong for years to come. Every year in the United States, more than 250,000 adults over 65 end up in emergency rooms because of bathroom falls. That's roughly 1 every 2 minutes, with nearly 4,000 dying from those injuries. These numbers come straight from the National Safety Council's latest report, and they reveal a startling truth. Bathrooms may occupy just 5% of a home's square footage, but they account for almost a third of all senior falls. The physics behind these accidents is brutally simple. Step onto glossy porcelain tile that's been splashed with water, and your body becomes subject to the laws of friction. When dry, the coefficient of friction between bare feet and standard bathroom tile hovers around 0.6, which provides adequate grip. Add just a millimeter of water, and that number plummets to as low as 0.1, comparable to standing on ice. Research in tribology shows that even a few soap suds can trap lubricant between foot and floor, pushing a senior's center of gravity beyond their stability threshold in an instant. Consider Mr. Chong, a 78-year-old who had installed his bathroom's one and only grab bar when he turned 70, thinking it was enough preparation for aging. One morning, rushing because his diuretic medication had kicked in, he stepped from the tub onto a spilled puddle. His foot slid forward before his brain could register what was happening. The fall shattered his wrist and sent him into a spiral of fear so intense that he avoided showers for 2 weeks until skin infections landed him back in a hospital. Or take Mrs. Rivera, 82, whose vision loss had reduced her contrast sensitivity by half. To her eyes, the edge of the shower stall faded into a uniform gray sea. Without high-contrast tape or better lighting, she never saw that lip of tile jutting just 2 inches above the floor. A simple trip over that ridge fractured her hip, and the subsequent surgery triggered complications that ended her independence forever. The human body doesn't age evenly, and this creates unique vulnerabilities in the bathroom. Leg extension strength, the ability to push off a surface when you're losing balance, can drop by up to 40% between ages 60 and 80. Simultaneously, reaction times slow, dual tasking becomes precarious, and peripheral neuropathy blurs the sensory feedback from toes and arches. Layer on common medications like antidepressants that blur vision, beta blockers that blunt heart rate response, or diuretics that demand urgent bathroom trips, and you've created the perfect storm beneath those bright bathroom lights. There's also a hidden factor that few people discuss: vestibular sensitivity to bathroom environments. Small fungal spores thriving in damp grout can irritate inner ear nerves in some seniors, leading to micro-episodes of dizziness that don't show up on standard medical tests. One retired teacher reported the room spinning for a second whenever a hot shower steamed up the tiles. After months of investigation, doctors traced this back to mold-induced inflammation of her balance apparatus. All these physical factors feed into a psychological phenomenon rarely discussed outside geriatric medicine: bathroom anxiety. Behind closed doors, many seniors experience a pounding heart at the thought of bathing, sweaty palms on the door handle, and flashes of panic when turning on the faucet. Some delay bathing altogether until family pressure becomes overwhelming, creating a cascade of problems, including increased infection risk, skin breakdown, and social withdrawal. Fear builds on itself in dangerous ways. Even a near miss that doesn't break a bone can fracture confidence. That anxiety changes how people move, creating shorter steps, stoop posture, and tunnel vision focused on one point. Ironically, these protective behaviors make falls more likely, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of danger. Yet bathrooms don't have to be danger zones. Simple modifications can restore safety margins dramatically. Textured non-slip flooring provides grip even when wet. Grab bars positioned at strategic angles, typically 60 degrees from vertical, offer maximum leverage during slips. High contrast, edging in bold colors helps define boundaries that aging eyes struggle to see. Motion-sensing lights eliminate the dangerous moment of fumbling for switches with wet hands. Even specialized hydrophobic treatments can channel water away from walking surfaces. Small mechanical adjustments make massive differences. A shower bench positioned to break a potential fall can prevent serious injury. Temperature-limiting valves prevent scalding that causes reflexive, jerking movements. Lever-style faucets work better than knobs for arthritic hands. These aren't expensive renovations. They're targeted safety investments. The key is understanding that bathroom safety isn't about one dramatic intervention. It's about addressing the cascade of small vulnerabilities that compound into major risks. When you recognize that a simple puddle plus aging reflexes plus medication side effects can equal a life-changing injury, every small improvement becomes significant. Your bathroom should be a place of comfort and cleansing, not anxiety and danger. Take a moment before your next shower to trace your foot across the floor. Can you feel irregularities, slick spots, or temperature changes? What single adjustment might transform that moment of worry into one of confidence and security? Sometimes the smallest changes create the biggest peace of mind. Daily bathing might feel like a cornerstone of modern hygiene. But here's something that might surprise you. Our ancestors often had healthier skin while bathing far less frequently. Before soap companies convinced us that daily scrubbing equals virtue, people around the world developed remarkably effective approaches to staying clean without stripping their skin's natural defenses. Take the Inuit of Greenland, living in environments where hauling water for a bath could literally be life-threatening. Yet archaeological evidence shows they rarely suffered from the chronic skin conditions we see today. Instead of frequent soaks, they used finely ground animal fat mixed with snow as a gentle exfoliant, then brushed it off with woven bone combs. Occasionally, they'd create steam from heated stones in enclosed spaces, opening pores just enough to expel dirt and sweat without destroying protective oils. Skeletal remains from Thule archaeological sites show remarkably healthy bone structures and well-healed fractures, indicating overall wellness that wasn't compromised by skin-related infections. Travel south to the Amazon basin, where certain indigenous tribes might go days without full body washing, yet maintain surprisingly low rates of skin infections. Their secret lies in plant-derived compounds and antimicrobial clays. They use decoctions from the young bark of the chicoria tree to cleanse hands and faces, while fine forest clays serve as masks for arms and legs, removing dead cells while preserving natural lipids. Anthropologists studying uncontacted groups report virtually no cases of athlete's foot or ringworm, despite constant humidity that should theoretically promote fungal growth. Medieval Europe offers another fascinating perspective on bathing habits. Early on, communal bathhouses thrived in 12th century towns, featuring hot steam chambers followed by cold plunge pools. But when plague waves swept through, fear of disease transmission turned water into a suspected enemy. Physicians like Bartholomew's Anglicus warned that immersing the body opened pores to invisible poisons. By the 14th century, most bathhouses had closed, replaced by what we might call dry hygiene. Regular hair combing, body rubs with scented plant powders, and frequent linen changes. Archaeological samples from castle waste sites show the soap used dropping from 20 grams per household per year in Roman times to barely 5 grams by the 1500s. Interestingly, records of chronic dermatitis dropped in parallel. Early American settlers inherited these cautious attitudes toward bathing. Journals from 17th century New England note a single communal wash day each month, often timed with seasonal cleaning. Wealthy Virginia planters might indulge in quarterly baths, while frontier families relied on targeted washing of face and underarms, then airing out garments in the wind. Private letters from the era actually mention cases of scalded skin and blistered hands among servants who hauled daily bath water, ironically defeating the purpose of cleanliness. Even ancient medical authorities understood this balance. Hippocrates cautioned against excessive immersion and recommended seasonal adjustments to washing frequency, more in summer and less in winter, to maintain the skin's natural defenses. In 17th century England, physician Thomas Sydenham wrote that frequent bathing profoundly weakens the body, advocating simple dry brushings and occasional limb soaks instead. The shift toward daily bathing didn't happen until the late 19th century, when soap manufacturers began equating personal cleanliness with moral worth. Victorian marketing slogans like "cleanliness is next to godliness" taught entire generations that bathing signified virtue, while missing a day implied laziness or disease. As soap marketing budgets soared, dermatologists began seeing increases in contact dermatitis, barrier damage, and bacterial imbalances. The very promise of health in every foam bubble was backfiring. Stripped oils invited itching, inflammation, and opportunistic microbes. The ancestral approach of targeted cleaning, seasonal pacing, and natural exfoliants offers valuable lessons for modern skin health. Rather than washing away precious protective lipids, these methods worked with the skin's natural ecosystem, allowing beneficial bacteria to flourish. Our current routines can dismantle that delicate ecology within minutes. Consider experimenting with a return to these ancient rhythms. Try reducing full-body bathing to every other day while focusing daily cleaning on high-priority areas like face, hands, and feet using gentle clays or rinse-free botanical cleansers. Many people notice that skin tightness, redness, and itchiness actually diminish when they give their skin's natural barriers time to recover between deep cleanings. This raises a fascinating question about modern life. Which voice should we trust more? The cultural script that links soapy lather to virtue and social acceptance, or our skin's own ancient wisdom that's been refined over millions of years of evolution? Your skin might be trying to tell you something important about what it actually needs to stay healthy and resilient. Imagine stepping into a steamy bathroom only to find your legs wobbling and heart racing as though you'd climbed a flight of stairs. That's exactly what happened to Mr. Caldwell, an 82-year-old retired engineer. Routine hot showers sent his blood pressure plunging from a steady 138/78 to a shaky 90/60 in under 5 minutes. The walls felt like they were closing in, and he nearly collapsed on the bath mat. His cardiologist later explained that healthy baroreceptors, tiny pressure sensors in our arteries, lose sensitivity with age. When hot water dilates blood vessels, older hearts struggle to compensate, leading to dizziness or even fainting. Then there's Ms. Alvarez, 79, a former language teacher living with mild COPD. In her poorly ventilated bathroom, steam pooled like a ghostly curtain. Every deep breath felt like inhaling a humid weight, and coughing fits followed. She began avoiding baths altogether, only to notice her mood dimming and her energy eroding. A small Iowa study tracked older adults with lung disease and found that just 15 minutes of steamy air in an enclosed space raised CO2 levels enough to trigger shortness of breath in 65% of participants. Exhaustion after bathing isn't just physical, it seeps into daily life. Mrs. Thompson, 87, used to enjoy morning crossword puzzles and a brisk hallway stroll. But after her daily soak, she'd collapse on her bed, too drained even to lace her slippers. Over 6 weeks, her daughter noted a sharp drop in both activity and appetite. An observational study from Michigan State University found that seniors who cut down full-body showers from 7 days a week to 3 saw a 20% boost in afternoon energy ratings and a 30% lift in reported mood scores. What's really happening? Hot water triggers vasodilation. Blood shifts toward the skin surface, lowering central blood pressure. Aging hearts, with stiffer vessels and slower reflexes, can't pump fast enough. At the same time, steam spikes humidity to levels that challenge tiny air sacs in aging lungs, slowing oxygen uptake. Add in subtle dehydration, older bodies hold less water, and even a 20-minute wash becomes a marathon. Yet change can happen fast. Mr. Lim, 88, traded daily showers for targeted sponge baths on alternating days. He kept a basin of warm water beside his bed, a soft cloth, and a gentle cleanser. Within a week, he reported wake-up alerts, resumed his neighborhood bowling nights, and found his balance restored. His granddaughter noticed he was laughing more at breakfast, not collapsing at noon. Here's a simple experiment you could try. Before and 5 minutes after your next bath, sit and measure your pulse and blood pressure. Note any drop greater than 10 points or a heart rate spike over 20 beats per minute. If you spot those signs, try reducing full baths to every other day or switch to quick sponge and rinse routines. Consider installing a handheld shower head to control water flow, or keep the bathroom door open for better ventilation. Think about which daily rituals drain your reserves without you realizing it. Could a lighter approach to washing reclaim your afternoons? Your skin has its own wisdom about what it needs to stay healthy and resilient. Sometimes the most caring thing we can do is listen to what our bodies are telling us, rather than following cultural scripts about daily cleanliness that might not serve our actual health needs as we age. Picture your skin as a self-cleaning oven where millions of microscopic janitors work around the clock. These beneficial bacteria, yeasts, and tiny mites digest dead cells, neutralize invaders, and maintain an acid barrier that keeps harmful germs at bay. Their performance doesn't require harsh chemicals or scalding water. Natural oils and enzymes handle the cleaning with remarkable precision. As we age, this microbial workforce shrinks dramatically. Research comparing skin samples from adults over 75 with younger volunteers found a 50% drop in bacterial diversity and a 30% decline in protective species like Staphylococcus epidermidis. Mrs. Hayes, 82, suffered persistent redness under her arms until lab tests revealed fungal overgrowth caused by years of antibacterial scrubs that had destroyed her natural defenses. Mr. Silva, 79, battled stubborn eczema on his shins until he replaced chlorinated soap with a pH-balanced cleanser. His skin's natural flora bounced back within 2 weeks. Those natural oils contain far more than moisture. Sebum delivers essential compounds that feed beneficial microbes while creating an environment too acidic for harmful bacteria. Think of a raincoat that polishes itself, sealing pores and repelling contaminants. Sebum even speeds wound healing. Dermatology studies show seniors with healthy oil levels heal minor cuts 20% faster than those with stripped, dry skin. Mrs. Nahara, a 76-year-old gardener, credits her quick healing from rose thorn pricks to resisting the urge to wash away her skin's protective oils. Your skin sheds tens of thousands of dead cells every minute through a silent conveyor belt system. Specialized enzymes break bonds between old cells, whisking debris away without manual scraping. Overzealous scrubbing or harsh cleansers disable these enzymes, leaving buildup that clogs pores and triggers breakouts. After her granddaughter gifted a popular citrus scrub, 81-year-old Ms. Chun noticed rough patches and tiny bumps on her cheeks. Switching to a gentle enzymatic cleanser restored her natural cell turnover within days. Disrupting this delicate ecosystem invites infections, allergies, and chronic skin problems. One nursing home study found residents taking daily hot showers had 45% more harmful bacterial colonization than those using alternate-day sponge baths without soap. Excessive washing stripped away protective lipids, raised skin pH, and created vacant real estate quickly occupied by troublesome microbes. Contact dermatitis rates soared when natural flora disappeared. Forgotten areas like nail folds, the belly button, and spaces between toes host unique microbial communities. Neglecting these spots or flooding them with antiseptics allows unwanted organisms to move in, leading to fungal infections or chronic inflammation. When 78-year-old Mr. Özdemir began gently dabbing oil-based cleanser into his nail grooves instead of aggressive scrubbing, his persistent nail bed infections cleared up within weeks without prescription medications. Instead of disrupting this natural cleaning system, work with it through strategic spot cleaning. Focus on 5 high-traffic zones where sweat, bacteria, and odor concentrate: armpits, groin, perianal area, spaces between toes, and the face-neck junction. These areas need attention while the rest of your skin thrives on its natural maintenance routine. Start with armpits, which host millions of sweat glands and create perfect conditions for odor-causing bacteria. Apply a pH-balanced, no-rinse cleanser in circular motions for 30 seconds to neutralize odors without stripping protective oils. Move to the groin where skin folds trap moisture and encourage yeast growth. A pre-moistened cloth with mild surfactants cleans effectively without disrupting your skin's natural balance elsewhere. The perianal region requires gentle care using a handheld spray bottle with warm water plus a small amount of non-foaming cleanser. Make small sweeps from front to back with a soft microfiber cloth, no additional rinsing needed. For feet, where moisture festers between toes, use a tiny amount of light antiseptic powder followed by thorough separation and gentle cleaning to prevent fungal growth. Finish with a 30-second face and neck wash to clear pores and remove surface oils without disturbing the protective acid mantle built up overnight. This entire routine takes just 2 minutes while leaving your skin softer, fresher, and more resilient than traditional head-to-toe scrubbing. This method works perfectly for those who struggle with standing or bending. For bed-bound individuals, prepare 2 basins, one with warm water, another for wrung-out cloths. Tuck a towel under the hips, dip a clean cloth in water, wring until damp, not dripping, and follow the same zone-by-zone sequence. Limited water exposure prevents chills and keeps bedding dry. Seated washing follows similar principles. A sturdy shower chair or transfer bench transforms your sink area into an efficient cleaning station. Line up spray bottles with warm water and diluted no-rinse cleanser to eliminate awkward transfers. Lean back, prop legs on a low stool, and let gravity help water flow away from you. Keep a timer visible. 2 minutes passes quickly but ensures thorough coverage. Assistive tools amplify effectiveness. Flexible silicone gloves reach skin folds without sharp angles. Long-handled sponges eliminate shoulder strain. Collapsible basins store flat behind doors. Even a simple bath pillow supports your neck when gravity works against you. Real transformations prove this approach works. Mr. Vargas, a retired railroad conductor with arthritis, used to dread shower days when joints seized and fatigue overwhelmed him. After switching to the 2-minute routine with no-rinse cleanser and silicone gloves, he returned to daily freshness. His wife noticed his posture straightened as he no longer shuffled to hide discomfort. Mrs. Patel, living with mild dementia, resisted traditional baths until family discovered fragrant, tear-free cleansing foam and the spot clean routine. Caregivers report calmer mornings, fewer protests, and a return of her gentle laughter because the ordeal vanished. Mr. Chun, recovering from hip replacement surgery, couldn't stand in the shower. Warm water compresses on armpits and groin followed by no-rinse wipe-downs kept him clean enough for visiting grandchildren without risking falls. His physical therapist noted improved morale as cleanliness became comfort rather than challenge. Science supports this targeted approach. Sweat ducts empty fastest near skin folds where bacteria congregate in trapped moisture. The rest of your skin flourishes with natural oils and occasional airflow. By focusing on hot spots, you prevent microbial overgrowth while avoiding harsh cleansers that trigger dryness, inflammation, or dangerous blood pressure drops. You sidestep your body's stress response to cold water and prolonged standing while restoring dignity and energy. Tomorrow morning, gather a gentle no-rinse cleanser, spray bottle of warm water, 2 microfiber cloths, and small foot powder. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Start at one armpit, finish under your chin, and notice how refreshingly simple it feels. Observe what happens when you spare the rest of your skin from unnecessary scrubbing. Less tightness, fewer red patches, and a mood lift that echoes far beyond the bathroom. Your skin has evolved remarkable wisdom about staying clean and healthy. Sometimes the most caring thing you can do is trust that natural intelligence rather than overwhelming it with harsh chemicals and excessive scrubbing. Those microscopic custodians might be invisible, but their impact on your comfort, health, and confidence is undeniable. Dr. Harris, a respected geriatrician in Boston, quietly counseled her own 85-year-old mother to abandon daily showers for gentle sponge baths 3 times a week. Behind closed doors, Harris worried less about cleanliness than about her mother's brittle skin and the dizziness that followed those steamy 10-minute marathons. Now her mother dips a soft cloth in lukewarm water, eases along her arms and chest, then pats herself dry. The result: no more razor-thin tears along her shins, fewer raised red patches, and a brightness to her eyes that Harris hadn't seen in years. Half a continent away in Miami, dermatologist Dr. Martinez whispered the same prescription to his father, a retired naval officer who once scrubbed twice daily with medicated bars. Martinez watched beneficial microbes vanish under the soap's onslaught, leaving his father's skin dry and cracked as desert earth. He showed his dad lab images from the University of Florida where fluorescent imaging revealed healthy skin teeming with bacteria, then the same patches after just 1 week of daily foam washes, stripped bare. Now his father follows a twice-weekly ritual of no-rinse cleansing foam on high-odor zones only, and his stubborn eczema has receded to a faint memory. Within a large New York nursing home, a veteran nurse practitioner confesses that official care plans still insist on daily showers, but real-world practice has quietly shifted. We chart the showers, she says, but most residents get full washdowns only every other day. In between, we focus on spot cleaning armpits, groin, heels, little mercy missions that take just minutes. Skin integrity metrics collected over 6 months showed a 35% drop in pressure ulcers and nearly half as many antibiotic prescriptions for fungal infections among residents on the revised schedule. Why such secrecy? Cultural norms about freshness are deeply ingrained. Families often equate infrequent bathing with neglect, and caregivers fear complaints or regulatory penalties. Product companies market daily lathering as non-negotiable. Even among professionals, deviating from consensus guidelines can feel like professional heresy. A clinical psychologist specializing in elder care observed that bathing rituals carry unspoken moral weight, as if cleanliness equals virtue, and anything less invites judgment. Yet breakthrough data are emerging from unexpected corners. At Stanford Center for Healthy Aging, a 12-week pilot compared 150 seniors on a targeted cleansing protocol, 3 times weekly zones-only washes, against a control group following standard daily showers. The targeted group experienced a 30% improvement in skin hydration, a 25% decline in documented falls, and 0 hospitalizations for wash-related blood pressure drops. In Munich, researchers outfitted as senior residents with sensor-equipped shower heads that monitored heart rate and blood pressure in real time. Participants who bathed every other day kept stable vitals throughout. Those sticking to daily hot immersions saw 1 in 5 develop transient hypotensive episodes. These findings haven't translated into sweeping policy changes. Medical journals applaud the data, but rarely challenge the status quo. Conferences spotlight the promise of microbiome-friendly regimens, yet speakers wrap their recommendations in caveats like more research needed or consult your physician. In private forums, though, geriatricians and dermatologists compare notes, trade protocols, and share relief when at last their own parents can ease away from the shower head. The disconnect between public recommendations and private practice reveals something profound about how medical wisdom actually spreads. Dr. Chun, an infectious disease specialist in Seattle, admits she struggled for months before suggesting her 78-year-old father reduce his shower frequency. "I knew the research," she says, "but breaking a lifetime habit felt like admitting defeat." Where father finally agreed to alternate day washing with targeted spot cleaning, his chronic skin irritation cleared within weeks. "He looks 10 years younger," Chen notes, "and I sleep better knowing he's not dizzy every morning." This pattern repeats across specialties. Cardiologists privately counsel elderly patients to avoid hot, prolonged showers that stress the cardiovascular system. Dermatologists quietly recommend oil-based cleansers over traditional soaps for aging skin. Physical therapists suggest shower chairs and grab bars, while secretly hoping their patients will embrace shorter, less frequent washing routines that reduce fall risk. The evidence supporting reduced bathing frequency continues mounting. A longitudinal study following 800 seniors over 2 years found that those washing every other day had 40% fewer skin infections, required 30% fewer dermatology visits, and reported significantly higher satisfaction with their skin's appearance and comfort. Emergency room data from 3 major hospitals showed a notable correlation between daily hot showers and hypotensive episodes in patients over 75, particularly during winter months when indoor heating already stresses circulation. Perhaps most telling, when researchers surveyed geriatricians about their own family members' bathing habits, 73% admitted recommending reduced frequency to elderly relatives, while only 12% made similar suggestions to patients in clinical settings. The gap between personal and professional recommendations highlights how cultural expectations can override medical evidence. Tonight, as you plan your next rinse, consider whose rules you're following: the ones written in cultural commandments about daily cleanliness, or the ones backed by emerging science and whispered in the private advice doctors give their own families. When conversations turn to proper hygiene, remember the message these medical insiders share: less can be more, especially when you focus on the areas that truly need attention while allowing your skin's natural protective systems to flourish. The transformation happens gradually, but unmistakably. Skin regains its suppleness. Energy returns as the daily shower ordeal disappears. Confidence grows as irritation and discomfort fade. Most importantly, the fear of falling or fainting in a steamy bathroom becomes a distant memory, replaced by a gentle routine that honors both cleanliness and the wisdom of aging skin. In living rooms from Tokyo to Tucson, the question, "Have you showered today?" carries a weight far heavier than soap suds. For many seniors, it's not merely hygiene, it's a statement of worth. The very idea of reducing shower frequency can trigger a ripple of guilt, as if skipping a bath equals shirking responsibility or inviting family scorn. Yet this social stigma, rooted in moral judgments about cleanliness, can force elders into daily hot water rituals that harm skin, blood pressure, and balance. At the heart of this stigma lies a bias revealed by recent behavioral research. 78% of adults implicitly associate being unshowered with incompetence or unreliability. When a grandchild peers at you and asks, "Didn't you wash today?" it taps into that bias instantly. Shame rises. Defenses go up. And before long, even a fragile heart or brittle skin takes the brunt of 10-minute scalding marathons. Consider Jose, a retired carpenter in Los Angeles. His daughter, Maria, grew up equating daily showers with respectability. Visitors to their East LA neighborhood expected the scent of soap as evidence of good upbringing. When Jose switched to sponge baths 3 times a week to protect his sensitive skin, Maria panicked. At family dinner, she confronted him. "Dad, people will think you've given up." Comforted by medical advice? No. Bruised pride? Absolutely. He felt accused of laziness, even worthlessness. He found his words only after reading about body odor myths and skin mechanics. Next time Maria expressed worry, he said, "Those who love me know what I smell like. My skin heals faster, and I stand steady in the bathroom now. Doesn't that matter more?" He shared simple data: 3 times weekly sponging cut redness and tearing by half. That shifted her perspective from image to impact. Halfway across the globe in Mumbai, 70-year-old Asha faced a different ritual. Every dawn, her daughter-in-law summoned her to cool water bucket baths, a century-old custom seen as essential for spiritual purity. When a geriatric nurse suggested seat-side cleansing 2 times a week to spare Asha's aching joints, the daughter-in-law bristled. "Our ancestors washed at sunrise. How can you deny her that?" Tension peaked when Asha's son sided with tradition. Breaking the deadlock required respect. Instead of dismissing rituals, the nurse proposed a blended approach. Asha could keep the sunrise rinse, just 5 minutes, standing on a non-slip mat, while the deeper bucket scrubs shifted to thrice weekly, assisted washcloth sessions. In time, the daughter-in-law noticed fewer wincing moments and less strain on Asha's back. Tradition found new meaning in comfort. Across the pond in a Manchester care home, a seasoned aide insisted on daily showers for every resident. Skin tears, fainting spells, and pneumonia followed. A visiting occupational therapist quietly introduced a spot-clean schedule: armpits, groin, feet on odd days, full showers on evens. When staff worried about regulatory backlash, she drafted a short script for handover meetings. Caregiver: "I've observed Mrs. Patel's blood pressure drop 20 points after a hot shower." Manager: "That's concerning." Caregiver: "Switching to targeted cleansing maintained her vitals and cut skin tears. Can we trial this for 2 weeks?" Data spoke louder than doctrine. Within a month, pressure ulcers declined by 30%. Scripts like these become lifelines when social pressure feels unbreakable. With a worried child, "I understand how a daily bath feels safer, but my doctor and I notice my balance improves when I do shorter washes. Could we try every other day and see how I manage?" With a traditional caregiver, your care means the world. "On wash days, I feel too weak afterward. What if we alternate spot washes and full showers? That way I stay clean and strong." With a healthcare provider, my great-granddaughter equates showers with self-respect. How can I explain that for my heart, less can be more? These conversations need empathy, not defensiveness. Acknowledge the concerns, fear of odor, of losing dignity. Then pivot to concrete benefits: improved skin integrity, steadier blood pressure, fewer near-miss falls. Cultural expectations vary wildly. In Japan, daily ofuro soaks are ritual, but often just 5 minutes. In parts of Northern Europe, weekly sitz baths coexist with sauna sessions. In arid regions, water scarcity once made infrequent washing compulsory. Today, some elders resist daily showers as wasteful, while neighbors see it as slovenly. Recognizing these nuances prevents blanket judgment and opens pathways to tailor routines that honor heritage and health. The key lies in reframing frequent showers from a moral imperative into a health choice. Invite family members and caregivers to look at hydration readings from skin sensors, pressure ulcer stats, or blood pressure logs rather than hygiene dogma. When empathy meets evidence, stigma loses its grip. Start by identifying one voice, child, caregiver, or friend, who equates daily showers with decency. Craft a 2-sentence reply that validates their care, yet introduces the health benefit of reduced bathing frequency. Track 3 days of your own bathing routine alongside any post-shower symptoms like dizziness, redness, or fatigue. Compare patterns and be ready to share with someone who worries about your skin or safety. Explore a cultural or family cleansing tradition. Which elements can merge with medical advice to create a respectful, safer hygiene plan? Remember, those who truly care about you want you healthy and safe, not just clean. When you explain how reducing shower frequency protects your skin, stabilizes your blood pressure, and prevents dangerous falls, you're not making excuses, you're making smart health choices. The goal isn't to abandon cleanliness, but to find a balance that keeps you fresh, comfortable, and most importantly, safe in your own bathroom. Too many older adults stick to a fixed shower schedule long after their bodies demand something different. A simple self-assessment can reveal the bathing rhythm that protects skin, balance, and blood pressure without sacrificing comfort. Start by answering these questions honestly, rating each from 1 being low to 5 being high. First, cardiovascular resilience. How steady is your blood pressure when you rise? Second, activity load. Minutes of daily movement like gardening, walking, or chores, average per week. Third, skin sensitivity, frequency of itching, redness, or cracking. Fourth, fall risk. How often do you feel unsteady in the bathroom? Fifth, sweat output. Do you perspire heavily, especially in summer or during errands? And sixth, medical complexity, count of chronic conditions affecting heart, nerves, or mobility. Add your 6 scores to get a total between 6 and 30. Totals under 12 suggest fragile physiology, so try daily spot washes and 2 full showers per week. Totals from 13 to 20 call for every other day showers, with targeted cleansing on off days. Totals above 21 can often tolerate 3 showers weekly, supplemented by gentle rinses after strenuous activity. Seasons demand tweaks. Winter's low humidity invites 1 fewer full rinse, swapping it for a warm cloth session to preserve natural oils. Summer's heat calls for at least 1 extra underarm and groin rinse when sweat lingers, preventing odor and irritation. Yet full-body soaks can remain spaced out to avoid stripping lipids. Certain conditions rewrite the rules. Heart patients prone to post-bath dizziness should lean on sponge bath days and keep water under 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Diabetics with neuropathy must inspect soles daily and might skip showers that dampen foot calluses, choosing dry brushing instead. Those with incontinence benefit from quick cleanses of soiled areas rather than whole-body baths. Pressure sore risks drop when moisture is limited, so alternate full rinses with blow-drying and light powdering. Eczema sufferers often improve by cutting back showers to twice weekly and using emollient wipes between. Red flags that demand immediate full-body attention include foul odor unmasked by spot washes, visible skin breakdown, recent fever or infection, intense post-bath itching, or a new prescription that dries skin like diuretics. Any near-miss fall during a rinse signals a need to pause, regroup, and perhaps add a sit-down wash routine. Here's a 30-day transition plan. Days 1 through 7, drop 1 weekly shower. On off days, focus on underarms, groin and feet with pH balanced wipes. Log skin comfort on a scale of 0 to 10, plus any lightheadedness and stumbles. Days 8 through 14, swap a second shower for a warm cloth wash. After each session, record each level and energy on the same 0 to 10 scale. Days 15 through 21, try showers every third day, adding a gentle mist rinse after high sweat activities. Note changes in skin dryness and bathroom stability. Days 22 through 30, settle on your ideal routine. 2, 3, or 4 full rinses weekly plus spot washes. Review your logs and aim for skin scores above 7 and 0 dizziness incidents. When this blueprint takes hold, freedom follows. Consider Marisol, 68, who dusts antiques and climbed a ladder last summer. Chronic joint aches once made her 10-minute showers excruciating. She shifted to twice weekly full showers, using menthol wipes afterward. By week 3, joint pain eased by 40%, and the ladder went back into service. Or meet George, 75, a former coal miner with peripheral neuropathy who almost fell stepping into a slippery tub. His daughter set up a handheld spray at seated height, letting him rinse off midweek while preserving skin oils. He hasn't wobbled once since. And then there's Ellen, 82, who kept winter showers as a ritual until cracked winter skin cost her sleep. After swapping January baths for emollient cloths and 1 hot soak per week, her eczema cleared, and her morning tea tastes sweeter when she knows she's safe, warm, and comfortable. Review your 6 assessment scores today. Pick 1 bathing day to convert into a targeted wash, and chart your skin comfort and steadiness on a simple journal or phone note. Notice what shifts by day 7, and prepare to adjust again in the next season. Remember, the goal isn't perfect cleanliness, but finding the sweet spot where you stay fresh, comfortable, and most importantly, safe in your own bathroom.